I have to release that. I have to surrender that. I have to let that go. And I have to give you this. This is what it is. Real-time revelations about the process of reinventing myself. This is it. I have decided that this is episode 1 of How to Reinvent Yourself, because I don't want to fall for the trap again. The trap that I'm talking about is overproducing, right? Like, I have felt so excited about creating this series and wanted to do it with this very particular vision in my mind. And so I was getting help from my producer friends and writing out episodes and mapping it out and all the while I have been missing the actual process, which often shows up at inconvenient moments when I'm not, dressed and ready for the camera, right? It's just whenever I just feel inspired and I have to go with it. Like, the amount of urgency that I feel around sharing right now is just... So this is it. This is episode 1, and it's nothing like what I spoke about with my producer friends. Depending on what I can and can't do in the post, is likely also nothing like the version that I saw in my mind, but that's okay. Maybe what we're doing is growing together towards that, and maybe at some point in this process, the vision that I see here will become the experience that you have. But for now, as I take you on this journey with me to reinventing myself as a creative, this is the first stop. This is the first stop that I am definitively and declaratively saying is going out into the world as step 1, right? Like, which is hilarious because I've said that a million times in a million clips, which I may or may not share with you, that I started last year because the intention was to launch this channel in 2024. So I set the intention to finally use this camera that I bought, I don't know, a year ago, maybe, almost. I set the intention to use this as part of my big plan for all the shifts I'm making in 2024. And here I am on New Year's Eve, getting a jump start in my mind on this process of really leaning into who I'm called into being. And the battery's dead. I thought I charged it last night, but maybe the charger wasn't plugged all the way in. I don't know, but the battery's dead. And in that moment, I had the thought of like, of course. And there's a version of me that would have been like, this is a sign that it's not the time, that I'm not ready. Look at me, already fucking up. But then there's the today version of me that's like, welcome to the journey, Joy. Welcome to being a beginner and the learning curve of that. Welcome to the many, many days of mishaps like this where you forget to charge your camera or something else, your memory card is full. Just welcome to the journey. You got all excited about what it means to be brilliant and shine. And you forget that along the way there will be bumps in the road. You have to decide now on New Year's Eve that you're not going to let those bumps stop you. Because they coming. But you keep going. And then I ran into a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff that made it really difficult for me to follow through on that intention. And I spent the year excavating all this fear, anxiety, pressure. And I just felt myself falling for that trap again just now with the overproducing idea, and just put it out. Just put it out. So, yeah. I know that it's important for me to share. Why? Why do you care that I'm reinventing myself? Well, you might find that right now you're feeling like, ugh, stuck in your life, unfulfilled, like a yearning or a craving for more, something different, something new. You might be so uncomfortable with where you currently are. You may be so much bigger than where you currently are. Life might be inviting you to reinvent yourself too. So that's why I think you care about me sharing my journey of how I reinvent myself. Some honesty that I want to share with you right now is that I'm watching the clock tick, and I have some things ringing in my mind about the fact that folks have short attention spans and that I have to capture them in the first however many seconds, and the hook and the all the things, the pain points and the why, and I'm fighting those things because I want to share what is honest. I just want to name it because I think that if we're talking about how to reinvent yourself, part of that is going to be how do we navigate the anxious moments. And so what I'm sharing with you right now is that I do that by observing my thoughts, recognizing how they feel in my body, right? Like I felt my heart beating. I felt my shoulder starting to get tense. And I'm like, okay, I know that that's what anxiety feels like because I have a practice of observing and acknowledging those feelings and sensations in my body, right? So when that came up, I said, okay, that's anxiety. Where's that coming from? And so I wanted to name that because on the journey to reinventing myself, I'm going to run into a lot of things that are going to be scary, that I'm going to be trying for the first time, that I'm going to be a beginner at, and all kinds of other situations that create a feeling of anxiety. And so I want to be able to acknowledge that when it shows up and identify it, and if need be, challenge it so I can dismantle it, right? Because I'm literally transforming myself, which means I am breaking out of an old version of myself, which means it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable, beautiful, and necessary, but uncomfortable. I know that because I've been here, because I've done this. So many times I've done this. And I know that it's not always easy to have the courage to. So I feel like if you have somebody to go with you, it makes it a little bit easier, right? So I'm leaning into my process in public in case you need somebody to go with you. Because we have a lot of cheerleaders, right? Who are like, you can do this, you got this, right? I believe in you. And we have a lot of coaches who are like, you know, let me show you how I got there. Buy my course, buy my book, right? We have a lot of cheerleaders and we have a lot of coaches, but I don't know if we have a lot of teammates in this virtual space. Like, hey, I'm going too. Want to go with me? Or can I go with you? Or should we go together? Like that's what I want this to be. And so I want to share in real time. I want it to be honest, right? I want my art to be honest. However it shows up, in whatever form, however it expresses, I want it to be honest. And for me, the overproducing was getting in the way of the honesty. And it was causing more anxiety, and it was causing me to shrink back, and it was causing me to postpone, and it was causing me to keep coming up with all these reasons why it wasn't time. And it was like, you know what? Quiet the noise. and tell them how you do this. So, I fight anxiety by tuning into my thoughts, checking in with my body, understanding what's leading to those thoughts and sensations, and then challenging whatever narrative is untrue or honoring the ones that still do feel true and thinking about how do I navigate them in a way that is moving me towards what I say I want. Right? So I don't ignore the anxiety. I don't shame myself for it. I don't pretend it's not there. I don't push through it. I don't let it cripple me, right? I don't let it paralyze me. I just acknowledge it and I honor it. And I thank it because it's really just trying to protect me. And then I say, I got this. And I do what I got to do to move forward. So that's what I do when sort of the old version of me wants to hold on and like, don't go yet. And I'm like, nah, I gotta go. I know it's scary because I know that the only version of me that you know is the one that got us this far. So I get that you're anxious and you don't quite want to let go. And so those feelings are bubbling up, and that's okay. That's okay. Part of the anxiety is that the old me doesn't know what's coming. Can I trust it? Is it going to work? And so I think if I am simultaneously constructing the new me, then the old me won't be so anxious. She'll say, oh, okay, I kind of see it. I get it. I see the vision, right? And so this is how I kind of learn to trust myself. I'm in this dance of honoring the old me, but also constructing the new me and simultaneously deciding and deciphering what that means and how it feels and what I need and how to do that. That's part of the dance, especially in this early stage when you're really defining who you are in this next season, this next iteration of you, this revealing of a deeper level, right? This peeling back of the layers and going, who am I underneath even that story, right? Like, oh, I thought I was a fitness model. Oh, I thought I was a fitness studio owner. Oh, I thought I was a marriage and family therapist. Or, oh, I thought I was a organizational psychologist. Oh, what? Am I a writer? Is that what I am? Like, that's what it feels like. Is that what I am? Okay, let's see. And so we're seeing, or maybe I'm a YouTuber. Maybe I'm both. Oh, the ampersand, my favorite. Both. Both. I don't have to choose. Speaking of constructing the new me, this is what I was writing. Let me see if I can point y'all to it. This is what I was writing. My art is sustainable, honest, and full of emotion. Oof. Let's talk about that. So constructing the new me. So as I am fighting back some of the anxiety of the old me being like, hold on, wait. The new me is like, no, I got this, watch. And what I need in this moment is to make that commitment to myself. How am I defining my art? So that I don't get into or fall into the trap of creating what I think the audience wants to see or what somebody else tells me a series needs to be like in order to capture the audience's attention. Like, I don't want to do that. Not yet. There's a place for that and there's a vision for that. And I value and appreciate that. But that's not where I am in my creative process and in my journey to becoming a creative. I'm not there yet. I'm not to the overproduced story. A friend of mine, oh, and I can't wait till y'all meet him, said to me, you're trying to create the overproduced version because of what you see other creators doing who have been doing this for years. So you see their content, you're trying to create what they have, and they've been doing this for years. And I was like, oof, that's a fact, right? Like, I didn't realize that was happening, because when he said it that way, it's like, yeah, of course, duh. You're trying to model this after content that's been around for years. Like, go back and watch some of their earlier content. I guarantee it didn't look like this. Point is, we evolve. We evolve. And I needed to give myself space. I've gotten really good. This is it. I've gotten really good at giving myself permission to evolve. Hence why I have reinvented myself over and over and over again. I've gotten really good at giving myself permission to evolve. Oh, this is a breakthrough for me. I'm looking for my journal, because I'm gonna have to journal after this. Give me a second. Yeah, I'm gonna have to journal after this. So I've gotten really good at giving myself permission to evolve. To check in with what feels most true about who I am and to say yes to that. And then to do the work of becoming the person who's living out that vision. I have gotten so good at doing that. What I've not gotten so good at is giving myself the space to evolve. What does this mean? This means that when I have the vision for what I want to create, I am striving head down towards that, and I don't lift my head up until I see that vision, right? Which is the trap of overproducing. That's how it was showing up in this phase of my life. I have this vision for the show I want to create, and I'm not going to put it out until it's that. But the yearning and the urgency that I feel to share this was like not letting me take my time. And the more I sat with it, the more I became clear that the vision that I have for what the content looks like is not the purpose for why I'm creating the content in the first place. And the purpose is to bring you all along on this journey in real time, so that the revelations that are coming through, similar to what they're doing now, are what you get. And you're not going to get that if I'm sitting inside of a produced episode that is trying to tell the story that I wanted to tell you. You're not going to get this. So I have to release that. I have to surrender that. I have to let that go. And I have to give you this. This is what it is. Real-time revelations about the process of reinventing myself. And sharing them with you in a way that I hope feel practical and applicable to your own journey, right? So I haven't given myself space to evolve. And so by giving myself space, what I'm now doing is sharing with you what happens in that space as I'm evolving. What is happening in that space of my life as I'm evolving? That is the purpose of this. And you weren't going to get to that purpose with an overproduced product. So here we are. Going back again to the constructing of myself, right? Because I understand that the anxiety of my old self is saying, I don't know if we can do this. So the new self is saying, no, don't worry, I got you. Let's start with, what is it that we're trying to do, and how are we going to do it in a way that allows us to feel safe? And so in asking myself that question, because I still honor you, old self, and so I want you to feel held in this process of becoming. I don't want to just abandon you, because that's where a lot of your wounds already are anyway. You have a lot of abandonment wounds, old self. I know that. So I don't want to just abandon you. I want to really ease you into this transition. So how do we do it in a way that feels safe? What does my art look like? It's honest, first of all. We already discussed why that feels important. The other thing I wrote is that it's sustainable, meaning if it's overproduced and I gotta have the right lighting and the right sound and I gotta be dressed and my hair gotta be done and it will never get done, because I don't have the capacity nor the desire to live in that way. I just don't. And I don't feel like it impacts the art. Sustainable. real time, raw, full of emotion. The reality of how my brain works and how this is all working. And I'm giving you the ding, ding, ding. Catch the nuggets as they fall. Because I'm going to rewatch this and take some notes myself. But honest, sustainable, and then full of emotion, as I said, because I'm going to be giving it to you in real time. So the way my mind races, how I feel when I pause, because it's going to be a lot of pausing, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'll be pausing. See, my mind has gone somewhere else. Let me get to this journal. But that's episode 1 of How to Reinvent Yourself. Let me know in the comments what part resonated most with you. Because here we go.